Well, hello. I know I just totally surprised so many of you. It feels like I haven't done a popcorn moment in who knows how long. But today I wanted to surprise you and just pop in. You know that popcorn moments are designed to encourage and challenge you. Today I'm popping in to share um, just a special individual, Angie Baucom. Hey, Angie.
Miller.
Miller. Yes. I don't know where I got that from. Thank you, Angie.
I think it's my middle name on Facebook. You probably just saw it.
Yes,
That is my
probably
maiden name.
so.
Yes.
And I can go on autopilot. You know that.
Same here. Same here.
Anyway, Angie, she actually wears a couple of hats, and I want her to share a little bit about that. She's an appraiser, but she also has a company it's a nonprofit called Buying Art That Matters. And if you recall, I love art. I love art. So, Angie, would you just share a little bit who you are and how did Buying Art That Matters come into fruition?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I am out of Virginia in the US, and I am a real estate appraiser. I've been doing so for 30 years, some of it part-time while I was raising the kids. But I had an event happen just a couple of years ago. In fact, my most recent blog, I've started a blog called Living Life That Matters as part of Buying Art That Matters. And in it, I tell just a touch of the story of a disrupted adoption that we had with the second set of kids that we were adopting was a set of 4. And it pretty much put me in a tailspin. And I went out of commission for several months. And during that time of being pretty much out of commission and not functioning at a very high level, I took an art class, something I'd always wanted to do, and I felt like it might be helpful. And so I took an art class, and it seemed to help a little bit. And while I was in the art class, I noticed all these people doing this great art, way better than what I was doing. And they weren't really doing anything with it. It just went in a drawer, like, oh, okay, we'll just prop it up to the wall, go in a closet, under the bed, not really finding its home, not finding its destiny. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could take this art and I could market it, and we both agree that 50% will go to missions. Mm-hmm. And so we can raise money for missions with things that already exist in the closet. And so that is how Buying Art That Matters started.
That is such a huge heart. And I have a heart for missions too. So for that to even come together, wow. Explosive. Yeah. How did that happen? So being these two, you said a real estate appraiser, as well as a curator of art and missions. How in the world do you juggle the two of those? How do you juggle those two businesses?
It is really hard. It is really hard to juggle the two of them. The best way to do it is delegate, pray and delegate. Yeah. And praying in the morning and going, God, I like how someone I know, she counseled me and she says, I think with you, because you're such a workaholic, because that is my natural nature. So to not be a workaholic is something that I have to work at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she's like, I think what you need to do is pray, God, what do I not have to do today?
Wow.
And so that has really been helpful. And, that I ask him what I have to do and then also what I don't have to do. Mm-hmm. And amazingly, the things that sometimes that I thought were so important or such a priority end up just falling off. And it wasn't even important. It was going to fall through anyway.
Yeah.
And so, so it's been kind of neat. It's been a neat journey in the last year and a half. Okay. It's a new adventure for sure.
Are you enjoying the journey?
I am to some degree, but then Angie Miller, workaholic, gets in the way and I get stressed out thinking, how am I going to juggle these two jobs? And when I do that, it turns into like,
So you have to remember to keep it fun. I take it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love to learn, and with the technology, I think like you can sometimes really kick your rear end if you let it.
So, what makes what you do different from others that may also be, curating and selling art?
Right. What makes us different, first of all, is that it's soul satisfying. Is for one reason is because we give to missions,
Yeah.
50% of it. If you are an artist on our site, I don't receive any money. The site does not receive any money, but you get 50%. I get 50%. I mean,
Mhm.
the missions get not me. The missions get 50%, and then you get 50%.
Wow.
Versus one of the things that makes us different, also on top of that, is that we help older artists sell their work.
Mhm.
For example, one of the artists on our site is Brenda Stewart. She is a amazing watercolorist,
Yeah.
and I have some of her work back here that I'll show you in a little bit. It's actually on sale for 30% off this week because it was highlighted in my blog post about the disrupted adoption.
Oh.
And but she's in a nursing home,
Mhm.
and her kids had no idea what to do with this art. There is no way it should be donated
Mhm.
at all. It is way too good. And they had absolutely no avenue to let it go, to
Mm.
find a place for it without feeling very guilty about it. And so Buying Art That Matters is a place for her artwork to shine and to create a legacy for her. And so
Mhm.
that's another reason that Buying Art That Matters is totally different than any other art gallery. And if you are the adult child of an artist, you're in the same situation. What do I do with it all? So we are a place for you to be able to do that. And your parents' work will also go to digging wells in Africa, providing wheelchairs through Johnny and Friends, or making translating the Bible into sign language for every sign language in the world through Deaf Bible Society. Those are our 3 highlighted missions we have right now.
And so, how can individuals get in touch with you?
My art site is Buying Art That Matters,
Mhm.
and we have the same tag on Facebook and Instagram. The
Okay.
same, um, yeah. So we're lucky that we got all the tags on all
Yeah.
the social media sites as
Yeah.
well.
So you all
So
please do check out Buying Art That Matters. Um, do you have some artwork right now that you could just kind of hold up? Is that okay?
yeah, sure.
Okay.
This is one of my pieces. This is a piece that I did that back
Okay.
there. I don't know if you can see it way back there,
Yeah.
but it is a big ocean piece. And underneath it is this undercurrent. I've talked about it before on a different show. Is this like blue line that goes around across the bottom. And it reminds me of James, where it talks about that if we're on the surface of the water, having no faith and doubting is like being blown and tossed by the wind.
Yeah.
So if you've ever been scuba diving or snorkeling, when you get under the water, it's like, ah, it is so peaceful under there. And that's kind of what I wanted that painting to depict, that I don't want to be blown and tossed up at the top. I want to be underneath the water where it's peaceful and
Mm.
where I'm in communion with God. And I think to be in communion with God means that you're going deeper with Him. And so that's kind of what that picture means to me. So I have smaller versions of that same picture because I did like a ton of them. They're not on the website yet, but
Yeah.
just because that theme, and I wanted it affordable for everybody, but the theme of just really trusting God and not being on that surface, being blown and tossed around is really important to me. I have some of Brenda's work back here.
Okay.
This is what I mean. It's big on the website. It looks, oh, this is nice,
Yeah.
but this is watercolor. You do not see
That's
watercolor
beautiful.
this
I don't see
large.
watercolor. That looks almost like a photo. I mean,
Yeah,
just it's amazing.
her work is amazing. This would be great on somebody's wall, and it is actually 30% off this week.
Okay.
Just because to me, when the most paid inspect is going to be a social media post I post this week, it's going to be on this piece right here on Instagram.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's the Beachcombers
Uh-huh.
on our website, and this one's also 30% off this week. But what I like about this is that when I'm stressed out and, where's my favorite place to go to
Yeah.
de-stress? It's the beach.
Come on. Yeah.
Go shelling or just walking along the beach or whatever. And but in the post I talk about, you, even if you don't live near the beach, you can go to the beach in your head.
Right.
So the place that I meet Jesus in my head is on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And we go down the beach and we go shelling. And I talk about my problems and the stress that I have, and he's right there with me. And so this is what this picture reminds me of, is talking with Jesus along the beach.
Okay.
Because that happens to be where my de-stress thing is. Everybody has their own areas they need to de-stress. What about you?
I love the beach. I love anything with water. I love going to see waterfalls, Yeah.
Waterfalls are great too.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to show you this one too. I just got out a couple of things. This one's a really neat one because it's a long one.
Okay.
Look at all these awesome waterfront homes.
And the beautiful
She used to live
colors.
in Chesterton. Yeah. She used to live in Chesterton, Maryland. It's an Eastern Shore town. And I think I went on an aerial shot because she couldn't remember all of the paintings that she did because her memory's starting to go. Yeah. And I went to an aerial shot, and some of these homes are in Chesterton, but I think some of them are not from looking at the aerial. So I think she wanted it to just be just a beautiful picture of houses on the water and how the water is so peaceful and the houses are so beautiful. So I really, really love Brenda's work. She's just an amazing artist. And I'm just really excited about being able to create a legacy we can do it together. And that when you post a picture, you've got a story to tell. Yeah. Not only of a memory that you've had with God, but you also have that story of her. I posted with each of the pictures her story. So you can kind of get an idea.
Do you do like a spotlight on certain artists?
I'm growing into that. But yes, we in 2021 we're going to be pivoting a little bit, and we're going to I think what we're going to do is each week. This is what I'm envisioning, so I'm hoping it will come to fruition. That each week with my blog post, I highlight a different artist or a different artist's work and how it connects to you spiritually and how the story it tells. And to help you connect to see art as more than just, oh, this is a nice piece of art. No, it's a piece of art that reminds you of who God is and how he relates to you. So I'm hoping that each week we'll have a different artist part of their work spotlighted. And the week that they're spotlighted is the week that it goes on sale.
Okay.
There'll be a sale or a special around it. So I'm thinking that's kind of going to be the wave of what I'm seeing in the future. And behind me, we also sell jewelry. Yeah. My sister donated her entire collection of handcrafted jewelry. It's hand stitched. It's not regular jewelry wire. It's it's not hemp either. It's like a nylon. So it's like cleanable. And it's all crocheted in between here, these tiny crochet stitches in between all the beading. And so I'm going to have special events having to do with that too. And she really made the jewelry because she wanted it to go to financing digging wells. And so that's what we're going to honor.
Okay. So there you go. Angie, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners today?
Yeah, I do have one thing. I have a painting. It's not even on the website yet. It will get on there. But this really came to me on this last week on kind of what the name of it is. And it's also, I'm in my blue and white and gray stage. Where everything I paint is in this color scheme. Yeah. And this one is one of my paintings. And I call it the Paths of the Sea. And it reminds me of Psalm, where it talks about the paths of the sea. But this one, let me see if I can, I just saw it again this morning, so I knew that I had to share it. It was Psalm 77. And it's basically that he made a way in the sea with his footprints. And so I really see this painting as he made the paths of the sea, but he also made a path for me. Wow. That's so much encouragement. Yeah. And so the path, do you see it's not straight and narrow and like there's no straight line. It's organic. It's flowing. A current is flowing. It's not like, And so that's the way I see my life for sure, is that he takes it and kind of like back into the current.
Yeah.
And so that's what I see in this painting and what it reminds
Awesome.
me of.
Awesome. Well, would you just leave a word of encouragement for people and those that are listening? And thank you for sharing that. That was so good. Stephanie says, I think I just lost what she said. Let's see.
I love art too.
Yeah, I love art too. For whatever reason, mine has gone blank. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see it.
Yay.
Yeah, but art is a great tool for me. It's a great tool. Like my office is, I want it covered in art that reminds me of in my house. It reminds me of times with God or certain events. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think art is supposed to be for, or to remember how awesome God is.
Totally. Well, thank you so much for being with us. And I look forward to seeing more of your work and those artist spotlights that you're doing, as well as your blogs.
Yeah, we did have some, our lives from last year did highlight the artists when we were selling some jewelry.
Awesome. So, okay. Well, thank you all for being with us today. I will be back for another popcorn moment soon. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.